The non-profit Save the Children claims more than 1 million children are affected by the humanitarian crisis fueled by 5 years of conflict in South Sudan. That's according to a new report Save the Children released. A Save the Children specialist in South Sudan says fighting has robbed children of the ability to grow up in a peaceful environment. Winnie Cirino has more for VOA from Juba.
Save the Children child protection specialist Sylvia Onyati says the violent conflict and resulting widespread poverty and hunger has led to the displacement of more than 4 million people, with at least 1.5 million people located in places that have extremely limited access to humanitarian assistance due to insecurity. Onyati says nearly half of the country's internally displaced persons are children.
So it's clearly that it's most affected of conflict are children, and they're in different ways. So it's not accessing basic services like health, nutrition or sanitation, but it's also on displacement. When we look at the numbers on 4.4 million either internally displaced or refugees, we see half of them are children. As well, the impact on family separations affect children.
Save the Children registered more than 19,000 unaccompanied, separated and missing children since the crisis began. Onyate says Save the Children has reunited more than 6,000 children with their families, but she says many children are still left vulnerable to forced labor, sex trafficking and recruitment to the military by armed groups.
There's legal instruments, but there's a need to have more advocacy for the implementation. And so one key area is on upholding laws and standards. Another area is on the access to justice for children and holding perpetrators to account. And the third key area, which is our core focus, is on the preventing and responding to violence against children.
Joseph Akech, Save the Children's Advocacy and Policy Director, says after holding group discussions with young girls in Akobo and Kopoita, researchers noticed that forced and early child marriages are on the rise in South Sudan because several families are still displaced. It's not unusual for parents to marry off their young daughters for bride wealth, according to Akech.
One of the factors that tend to tell us the prevalence of child marriage is communities that keep cattle. And we know where those communities are, partly because child marriage is associated with dowry. So when dowry is paid either in form of cattle or other forms, it seems to be always paid in cattle. Those communities tend to have high prevalence of child marriage. And the focus, therefore, is to work with those communities to understand that it's an acceptable form of engaging children. And not only does it impact on their livelihoods, but also their right to education and health.
Article 15 of South Sudan's transitional constitution states that no marriage shall be entered into without the free and full consent of the man and woman intending to marry. But Akech says the national transitional constitution does not state a minimum age for marriage, so child marriage continues unabated in South Sudan. He says Save the Children is working with other partners to draft a legal framework to address child marriages.
To ensure that laws protect and discourage child marriage are implemented. But in particular, we support a local partner to file a petition in court to ensure that Article 15 of the Constitution is amended, or that it becomes clear what it means in terms of child marriage.
Onyati is calling on the government of South Sudan to strengthen the social fabric of society and educate communities on how to protect children. For VOA News, I am Winnie Cirino in Juba.